Hey there, folks, and welcome to another episode of Calf Kick Sports. In this special episode, we have Lance the Boogeyman Wright, and he is fighting our Team Elevation based in Colorado. He's actually coming off a unanimous decision win, a Fury Challenger just a few days ago. Lance, firstly, thanks for coming on. Great performance, dominant performance as well. You had to kind of weather an early storm at the beginning. How are you feeling? Any injuries sustained at all? Just generally, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I had a couple, one major, minor injury. I got a fracture in my right foot that I just got put into a boot yesterday.
Oh,
But
damn.
other than that, just a couple bumps and bruises, and I feel really good after all.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, it was a very kind of grueling fight, man. Obviously, you went through that early storm at the beginning, and
Mhm.
what I was really kind of impressed with, you put the heat on early. Usually when someone puts the heat on right at the beginning, it's a good indication of their cardio. Now, I know you train at altitude.
Mhm.
How integral has that been just to your cardio in general?
It's my X factor, training at elevation, definitely. I think it's, but not just training up at high altitudes. Like I train with Aaron Porter over at Landau Performance, and my strength and conditioning coach. He definitely works really hard to keep, me in really good shape and help the rest of my teammates, make our goals and help us, get to our fights not only in great shape, but also making sure that we're taking care of our bodies injury wise and everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, speaking on that, you train with some absolute killers at your gym. You've got Neil Magny, Corey
Mhm.
Sandhagen, Curtis Blaze, Justin Gaethje as examples. Now, it doesn't have to be those guys I mentioned specifically, but who's the hardest worker at Team Elevation at the moment?
Oh man, I'd
I'm
get
put, I'm
some
putting you in it there. I'm just getting you in trouble here.
uh I'd get some flack if I didn't say Neil. Neil Magny is probably one of the hardest workers I've ever met. That guy's work ethic is second to none. He's always in the gym. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always happy to work hard. So, yeah, I'd say Neil is probably the hardest worker that I see.
Yeah, it's insane. I've never seen the guy tired in any fight. He might have been stopped or it might not gone his way the decision, but I've never seen him tired, which is uncanny. I mean, I know you mentioned in a previous interview you actually moved to Colorado. You're not originally from Colorado. How much? I mean, what made you kind of switch anyway? You moved 1,000 miles, as
Mhm.
you mentioned before.
Well, sometimes you get a little stagnant with your home gym and you feel like your growth is being stifled. So you got to reach out and try to figure out how you can continue to grow. And that's what I did. I used the resources that I had available. I said thank you and moved on and found a new family to take me in. And moved out here with a bunch of savages. And, I'm very grateful that I get to train with these guys day in and day out and get to, just be a fly on the wall and listen to their stories and see what they've done well and what they haven't done well and try to learn from them. So yeah, that has definitely been a lifetime opportunity to come out here.
Yeah, 100%, man. And there was a post, yeah, and I had to bring this up because I'm a huge Punisher fan. I love the
Oh,
Punisher. And there was a quote that you post actually. It says is along the lines, I'm paraphrasing here, but I'll just read out. The Punisher goes, I'm smack dab in the middle of my right goddamn mind. And any scumbag I put down, I did it because I liked it, and I'm itching to do it again. And I think you're referring to the fact that you're 30, but then you still get some people like, why don't you get a real job? Have you ever felt like, you know what, I don't know if this is for me, or has that even never crossed your mind at all?
we all have good days. We all have bad days. Some days, after the gym, you're just sitting there and you're thinking like maybe you didn't have the best sparring rounds or whatever. And you're just like, did I make these choices? Did I make the best choices? But, because I had a lot of people that doubted me, a lot of people that said you can't make 170, and I had fought basically my whole career at 185 pounds and 205. And Yeah, so I wanted to, go out there and put a statement and say that, look, I can do this. I'm not too old. I'm 30. I'm coming into my prime. The best years of my life are still ahead of me. The best years of my career are going to be written, yet to be written.
Absolutely. I mean, 30 for a welterweight is just right up there, isn't it?
Mhm.
Just a couple, 2, 3 years before your prime. So that's a great time to kind of really leave your mark. I mean, what would you say is the long-term goal, Lance? I mean, are you is it just the UFC, or have you got other aspirations? It doesn't really matter where it is, as long as it's quite a big promotion and you can make some money.
I'm gonna be a world champion.
You want to be world champ? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna be a world champion.
Yeah.
Whether that's in the UFC, whether that's in the PFL, whether that's in ONE FC. I really feel like I've got a future in the UFC coming up, though. You know, wherever my career takes me, I feel like I'm going to be a champion. I've been in the room with champions. I've sparred with champions. I've seen what they do, and what it takes to become one. And I honestly feel like that's what I need to do. There's a blueprint set, and I've seen a lot of people that have, followed that blueprint to a T, and they've had some very good results. But if I set my goal a little bit lower than that and say, oh, I just want to be able to make a lot of money and be happy, which, to be honest, a few years ago, that was a really goal for me.
Mhm.
But you kind of have to go and like recalibrate your thinking, because starting out as an amateur in Indiana, I just thought it would be the coolest thing ever to become a professional fighter. I thought that was the coolest thing. And then I did that. I started winning, and I was just like, man, it'd be really cool to fight in a big promotion. And I fought in Bellator, and I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. But it's just like you're just you're just barely getting touched by all of that stuff. But I don't want just to be that guy that said, oh yeah, I fought for some big promotions. I want to be that guy that is in there, and people are going to know that this guy is a savage, that this guy comes to bring the fight. That's why I said I'm going to be a champ.
No, I love it, man. Because again, it's the old cliche that, man, you aim for the stars, you land on the moon, and yeah, I mean, well, why not, man? Like I feel like it's the last few interviews I've had, it's just been mixed responses, but lately I've been getting, yeah, I want to be a world champion, man. Why not? Like, why am I in this sport otherwise? What's your origin story? How did you initially think I'm gonna be because I'll be honest, it's a very unusual career choice, isn't it? You're fighting in your underwear practically. You've got to go for
Mhm.
training, hard training, you're getting bust up. What made you do it, man?
Oh man, I wrestled in high school, and the UFC was like in its infancy at the start, and I always thought that would be a really good. I mean, I thought that would be an amazing thing to do, and I wasn't good enough as a wrestler to get like a scholarship or anything like that. So I found a team in Indiana that, gave me, the starting tools that I needed. And, once I felt like I couldn't grow anymore, that's when I had to, come out there, come out here to Colorado and train with other people that were like-minded like me. A lot of my team, they've got a very similar story. My teammate, Ryan Charlebois, he came out here 4 years ago from New York, and he has a very similar story where he came out here, he took a leap of faith. I was like, I saved up a lot of cash because I used to work in the RV industry. And it wasn't, if you're from the Midwest, or if you're from Indiana especially, there's not a whole lot of industry out there. It's like either you're in agriculture or you're in some type of manufacturing. There's a lot of like medical manufacturing too, but the RV industry is kind of like the heart of like northern Indiana. And if you don't work in there, you don't have a whole lot of other options. And there's nothing wrong to dare to dream bigger. And
100%.
and I get goosebumps just thinking about it, because I used to be on the RV line just running screws day after day with earplugs in, and a drill right next to my face, just running screws as fast as I can, so that way I would get done and be able to go to practice.
Hmm.
And that was my end goal. I wanted to go and work there, and I was killing myself at my job so that way I could go and get out in time so that way I can make it to practice in time. And it's like you're burning the candle at both ends. You can't go and like give 100% to like a manufacturing job and 100% to an MMA career. So
100%.
that was why I stacked up as much cash as I could, and I made the move out here.
Now, I'm being assumptive here, but did you see a lot of people just kind of stick in the same factory type job or the same kind of role within, 20, 30, 40 years? And did that scare you? Did you think, I don't want to do this, man, for 34 years. I'd rather be a fire. I'd rather take massive risk there.
Man,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. If the choice was, working this, dead end job really where like, oh, I'm going to work this until I literally can't work this anymore, until I'm 65. You work your whole life until you're 65 and life expectancy is what, 76?
yeah,
That means you get 7 years of fun time. I'd rather have my fun now. I'd
yeah,
rather work, I'd rather do what I love to do right now and live in beautiful Colorado where I get to go out to the mountains every weekend and I get to go fishing and I get to go hunting out here. I did all that stuff in Indiana too, but like I feel like I'm much more of a world traveler now and just get to experience, different lifestyles and different cultures. And it's just a lot of people that, and I'm not talking trash about Indiana whatsoever. I
no,
love that.
of course not.
My
Yeah,
family's from there. I got roots there. But a lot of people, they get complacent, and they just wake up and they go to their job, they come home, they put their, whatever into their retirement savings, and then they're good. They get to go on vacation one time a year for a couple of weeks. And it's just like, man, that's a good path for some people, but
yeah, of
not for
course.
me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Some people have different goals in life. They just want to, they want to look after their family. They don't mind doing the 9 to 5 grind, isn't it? Um,
Yeah.
Again, it's just genuinely not for everyone. I'm going to change gears a little bit. Now, just going away from the fighting a little bit. What is your kind of what kind of music do you listen to, Lance?
Yeah. So I'm really not, very picky. Actually, I've been listening to a lot of country on the radio,
Oh,
like
cool.
the country music. I can't like really name any artists, but I'll just say the older I get, the more that I kind of like appreciate country music because it kind of like gives me the nostalgia of like, Indiana and like a little bit slower paced time. I still get down with all the new stuff that's coming up, but I like a lot of rock and roll.
Yeah,
My walkout song, Motley Crue, shout at the devil. I
yeah.
was actually making a playlist for my kickboxing class that I teach, and that one came up on my Spotify. And I don't know, man, I was just feeling it. And during one of my classes, like, yeah, I'm gonna walk out to this one. And yeah, I just felt like, yeah, I'm vibing.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm not a big country fan, but I did listen to it was a new song or fairly new song, came out a month ago. It went super viral. The Rich Men of Richmond.
Oh yeah,
That's
Richmond, North of Richmond by Oliver Anthony. Man,
Jesus.
that hits home with a lot of people, especially especially the rural area in the United States because a lot of people feel like their tax money is being spent, unjustly.
Yeah. I mean, welcome. That's the same deal in the UK, man. I think after COVID, I mean that's another story for another time. But I think after COVID, government just thought I'm gonna just take the piss a little bit. I want to just try clawing back the money from the people, man. That's how I generally.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely feel like, I'm not very big into politics, but
Yeah,
I can tell you that a lot of people that I talk to feel like their tax dollars aren't being spent very well. And I agree with that.
100%, man, 100%. What kind of movies? Sorry, actually, what is your top three movies? Or if you
Top three
if you had
movies.
to pick,
Ooh,
putting a gun to your
ooh.
head, Lance, you got to pick three movies.
Top three in no particular order would be Lord of the Rings trilogy,
Okay,
Saving Private Ryan.
nice.
I want to say the original Iron Man.
The original Iron Man,
Yep,
nice.
the
I'm
first
I'm
Iron Man.
I'm sensing. I was gonna say I'm sensing a very war theme heavy kind of feel, but then Iron Man, it's kind of to do with war, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, Tony Stark, he was a warlord before he became Iron Man. He was selling guns to both sides. So
This is embarrassing. I don't think I've seen Iron Man.
oh bro.
I don't think I've seen Iron Man. I
Go
watched the
back.
cartoon. I used to watch the cartoon.
Okay.
I'm a little bit older, so I used to remember watching the 90s cartoons.
Mhm.
And I thought they were pretty good, man. And then I watched the movie, and for some reason, I'm not a fan of Robert Downey Jr. so much, man. I find him kind of annoying. I'm gonna get cancelled.
Yeah, he is kind of like, you know, the snarky type of personality that, you know, I don't know, he grows on you. I like him in a lot of other stuff, but he's
Yeah,
definitely
same. Yeah, Tropic Thunder. Oh my god, he was so good in that. Like,
yeah, because he's got the contacts and he does the black face and everything in there. You couldn't make that movie today.
literally, you couldn't, can you? Like, you go back here, and you're like, that's a classic movie. But if you bring out now, if they tried to remake Tropic Thunder, good luck, man. Good
Yeah, good luck on that one.
luck. Final question for you, Lance. Yeah, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Bit of a deep one. Could be Lance the fighter, Lance the civilian. Does not matter. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see my career peaking at the highest point where you see me as a world champion in mixed martial arts, crossing over into doing some super fights and grappling too, because I feel like I'm a very good grappler. And sometimes it doesn't always show how good of a grappler you are in some of the fights because of the results, because anybody can be better than anyone on any given night. But
Definitely.
I feel like you can see me being a world champion grappler along with being a world champion mixed martial artist at that point in 5 years. And then from there, you know, we'll go from there. But my goal is just to keep on building, to keep on growing, and you know, just keep on keeping on.
I love it, man. I love it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for coming on, Lance. But look, I am going to give you the final word. In fact, yeah. So any sponsors you want to, you want to shout out, if you want to plug anything, go for it, man. It's your spotlight.
Awesome. Well, you know, I got to shout out all my gyms, you know, Team Elevation, Pound for Pound Muay Thai, High Altitude Martial Arts, all those guys over there. I wouldn't be able to do it without. I got to thank my corner, Jarrell Askew, for coming out to Texas with me, sacrificing his lead calf for because before the fight, he wanted me to go and land some legit calf kicks so that way I could feel it. So thank you for that, Jarrell. I got to thank my girlfriend Dakota for putting up with me during the terrible weight cut. Not terrible, but like while I'm getting ready to go down to 170, I'm not that big of a pleasant person to be around, I'm sure. Sponsors, I got to thank High Country Armory for always being there for me. Bodywork by Badger for helping out my posture. Grade A Rolfer, if you're in the Denver area, check out Cali Bodywork by Badger. Egozi, always a good sponsor. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody that has helped me out with this fight, all my teammates over there, Neil Magny, we, like I said, Jarrell Askew, and then Isaiah Wright, my brother from another mother, helping me out, and then Sonny Yo, he was another one of my main training partners, getting ready for this fight. So thank all of you guys.
Thank you so much, man. You're awesome. But yeah, thank you, Lance. Thank you, Lance.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man.